What are your thoughts on Northern Health, and what is your party's plan on addressing healthcare funding, specifically with the nursing shortage?
From the federal side, what the government basically is meant for is basically health transfer. We transfer money over to the provincial government. The provincial government determines what's going to go there. We would like to see changes to the Health Act, drastic changes actually. We would like to actually scrap the entire Health Act as it sits right now and make it into a different act. That way, the provinces have more control over what they're doing and how they do it. And the funding will come only from the provinces. We don't provide it to them. And in order to provide that funding so that they would have it, we would make room within the tax system by lowering taxes and doing things like getting rid of the GST and stuff like that in order that they could take care of that sort of stuff.
What we should have is an MP in the riding that can cross those aisles and can reach out and try to make some changes and differences. I believe that Northern Health is an organization that does a good job in certain areas, but like everything, they're stretched. Our region is so huge. So for us to have the medical services and care that we desire, we're going to have to maybe change things up a little bit. In fact, as the person that's running for the NDP, the party that actually brought us universal health care and is still actually working on the universal part, much to the chagrin of the two other parties, it's a super important goal to us. So pretty strong on healthcare and the importance of having it.
Part of our plan, we're completely funding healthcare as we have in the past. One way we want to address the nurse shortage is we know there's a lot of immigrants that have come in with the qualifications to be doctors and nurses and other healthcare practitioners. And we want to recognize those credentials as soon as we can. So they'd have to qualify and write a test in Canada, but essentially it's called the Blue Seal program. And there's been far too many people that even the taxi drivers or Uber drivers, our leader, Pierre Poilievre, he said sometimes the best way to get a doctor now is just to call Uber because they're driving Uber cars instead of actually practicing as doctors and nurses. So that's one way to address it. And we just believe it's a good way to address some of these shortages.
There's a few options there, and we know they're really overworked. We need to find ways to have more folks come here. And my favorite solution for finding more nurses, for example, is to increase our immigration options for refugees from the United States. There are some incredibly skilled people in a whole range of endeavors that could come up and bolster the skills that we're lacking. There's a lot of folks that are being targeted, and we'd love to target them to come up here to Canada. And I think that would be an option for nursing. We also want to make sure that everyone is getting enough time. Like, they're working so hard, and we know that they're doing it because they care and they want to be available for the job to do it because they love it. And we want to make sure that they're being cared for as much as possible.